Hi, Sheila here. Welcome to the Resource Strategies booth at Collaboration Summit. I'm super glad to be here and see the unification happening around social enterprise. With 30 years experience in social enterprise, both for-profit and nonprofit, I see the sector as being the one who addresses the most important challenges of our time. And going forward, we will be right in the middle of all the challenges. So it's time for us to really put together our resources and our personal resources to be sustainable as we face these challenges and the inevitable challenges that will pop up that we can't even predict yet. In my former life as a development director, I was very good at raising funds by really digging into what was driving our why. I found that a lot of mission-driven organizations that I worked with were focused on their mission and having their mission on the wall, but when it came to really digging down into the purpose that was driving the mission, it got a little bit vague. And sometimes various players, various stakeholders would even have a different idea of what was driving the mission and driving the why, so that our agendas were not always on the same page. So as a former executive director, I really was able to see how important it is that we align stakeholders in our inner circle of stakeholders on the driving force behind our why, so that we can just gain the enormous power of a collective initiative aimed at the same goal. And that was my impetus behind resource strategies. At the same time, I did have a burnout episode of my own. This is long before COVID. And as a result, I came to see and came to understand how physical burnout really is. My particular instance was due to underestimating an elder care situation and having a 24/7 arts and culture job where my burnout was really pretty much my own problem. But what it really pointed out to me was what burnout is and how many tricks it can really play on you. Because it can tell you that you're lazy, it can tell you that you're not working hard enough, when in reality, your capacity to make decisions and think straight, feel and respond versus feel and react, all those capacities are gradually dissipating, and it's sort of a recipe for disaster. I'm going back into this history to tell you that I formed many, many tools to help myself get out of burnout. And then when COVID came along, I could see that many more people were experiencing the same thing I had. I also learned at that point that as I was studying with Otto Scharmer, that he was advocating for the well-being of the leader to be the first focus. And this was a little bit of a different idea than I had been used to hearing, between work-life balance and, there's sort of this, there used to be more of a division between, your work life, your professional life, your personal life, your coping skills, where now, first and foremost, with Otto Scharmer's concepts around theory U and leading from the emerging future, it all stems from the well-being of the leader. And I could really see that firsthand as I became so challenged, even though I didn't have words for it yet, that to meet the challenges I was facing around fundraising and being an executive director, that I needed to really address the burnout that was taking over my brain and my emotions and my sense of identity. It's just a perfect storm. So that's the focus of resource strategies. It's creating sustainable you to be a sustainable leader who can address the challenges that we're facing moving forward as a society. And the way that I work with people is a couple of perspectives. One is to build a community. And I'm doing that through speed networking, which I'm calling purpose connections. So I would love to invite you to that. And I'm working with clients through the methodology of executive coaching. And I work with clients for as little as 5 weeks for a impact pivot, or as long as 6 months for a longer initiative, depending on the goals of the client, always with a focus on well-being, purpose, slaying priority overload, and creating stakeholder alignment. I hope you'll check it out at resourcestrategies.me, and please do download the Aspire Clarity tool. It will help with slaying priority overwhelm, as well as really digging into what's driving your why. Hope to see you in my session. If I don't, reach out and we'll make a coffee date. Love to hear your big, bold vision. Have a great summit.